I personally think Starfield was actually a really good game, which I know might not be the most popular opinion out there, but it's Skyrim in space, so I knew from the beginning that I was going to enjoy it. Which is why I'm glad that, like most Bethesda games, Starfield is receiving continuous add-ons and improvement through all the amazing mods being uploaded to sites like Nexus mods and Bethesda's own creations platform. So today we will be checking out some more of the latest and greatest Starfield mods out there, including some that will change certain mechanics to make the game more immersive, brand new features that will switch up some of the gameplay, and a new player home to discover inspired by all the different Starborn temples. If you're new to the channel or to modding Bethesda games, make sure to subscribe for more Starfield content, and if you enjoyed the video then please remember to leave a like, and you can now even join the Outdoor Builders Club and become an official member. Thank you guys so much for all your support so far, but for now let's get back to the video and check out some of the latest mods for Starfield. When you're out exploring in your ship and grav jumping all around the settled systems, you might not even realize that your ship actually has its own fuel mechanic. This is because Bethesda decided to completely strip back their ship fuel features because they felt it made the game feel less fun. So for convenience sake, they just removed it. But if you would actually like to immerse yourself into the world of a real starship's captain, then you need to try the mod Real Fuel by Robot Revolt. This mod will introduce a brand new fueling system for your ships that will completely change the way you get around the Milky Way. Fuel will now be drawn out from your ship's tanks when you decide to take part in some interstellar travel, but the amount of fuel used will vary depending on your distance from the core systems, the performance abilities of your ship, and even the perks and skills that you have for your character. Filling up your ship's tanks is now an essential function to space travel, and there are many new ways for you to top them up should your reserves ever get depleted. You can simply purchase fuel from a ship technician on any of the major settlements. However, you will also have access to the new smart fuel system. If you head over to your cargo hold display, when your reserves reach less than 70%, you will now get a new option to manage your fuel. This will activate the smart fuel mechanic, which will attempt to find the easiest way for you to refuel your ship. When docked at a large space station, smart fuel will allow you to purchase some fuel straight from the station without even having to exit your ship. But if you're ever out in the wildernesses of space, smart fuel will first check to see if you have any helium free in your cargo hold, but if you don't, it will try and make use of any other fuel items you might have, like condensed fuel tanks. You can also siphon helium free from other vessels using smart fuel, but be careful because it is considered illegal in most parts of the settled systems, so many places will turn hostile if you're seen doing it, unless of course you're doing it to a known enemy ship. And those condensed fuel tanks I mentioned earlier, you can purchase them from most general goods vendors, so there should be no excuse for finding yourself short-handed. But if you do and attempt to grav jump anywhere without any fuel, you may suffer from an overheated grav drive. This will prevent you from grav jumping anywhere, but you can fix it by simply applying power to it and then waiting for the system to check the drive status. This mod has loads of other cool features that make your game feel much more realistic. Most can be toggled on and off in the gameplay settings to suit your exact needs. But if you'd like even more immersive spaceflight travel, then you should also check out the mod Cost of Spacing by the same mod author. This mod will overhaul your space travel even further and attempt to make commuting around the stars actually feel consequential. It does this by adding realistic fees and specific costs to Starfield's primary means of transport. You will now have to cover all the costs of running your ship and its crew. This will cover things like ammunition for your ship's weapons, wages to be paid to your crew, and other general ship maintenance costs like wear and tear. You will also have to pay the new port fees, which is a new charge that a settlement will take from you for landing at their spaceport and using their services. Landing inside a large settlement will now cost you drastically more than if you were to refuel your ship at a simple farmstead. For example, Neon is a very expensive city to land at, and it will cost you a pretty penny to do so if you're not from there. Whereas just dropping in on Wayland at Wagner Farm will cost you significantly less to land at their port. And if you're still using the Frontier or you've just started a new game, Constellation will happily pay for all your ship expenses, so this mod is not too hard on new players or anyone just starting over. This mod is very clever how it works out all of your fees and costs. It even takes into account your personal skills and traits chosen for your character. For example, if you choose the trait Long Hauler, you will be able to get away with paying cheaper port fees at most cities. But if you ever find yourself short on credits and unable to pay these fees, there is now even a new penalty system with a 3-strike rule set up. Anytime you cannot pay a port fee, it will be logged in a database, and on your 3rd strike, a bounty will be set on you with the local authorities. Overall, I think this mod is great for immersion, and it makes the game much more realistic, especially if you pair it with Real Fuel. Then you almost have a complete overhaul for space travel in Starfield. Unfortunately, Real Fuel is only available on PC right now, but you can still grab Cost of Spacing from Nexus mods and creations, so that one can be played on both PC and Xbox. The Starborn skills in Starfield are mystical powers that work pretty much the same way as the Dragonborn's shouts from Skyrim, but instead of having to visit a bunch of different shouty walls to unlock these powers, you can get them by completing all the different temples attached to Starfield's main questline, totaling up to 24 unique different powers that can do things like send gravity waves to a specific target, sense all living things around you for a brief moment in time, and even emit an intense fiery burst of solar energy at your enemy. But if you're looking to expand on the number of different powers you can have in the game, then you need to try the mod More Power to You by Ghost Rider 231. This mod will introduce a total of 10 brand new Starborn powers that will add some awesome new features to your Starfield. Powers such as detection immunity, which will make you 100% impervious to detection for a short period of time. Short burst supernovas will explode short bursts of supernovae fire, which will have a devastating effects on your enemies. After loading in with this mod, you will have a brand new weapon added to your inventory called the Power Selection Axe, where you can choose between your new selection of Starborn skills. Some of these new powers aren't completely balanced, and you could see them as cheats for the game, as you will have the ability to open locked doors that don't require a key, increase your character's movement speed and jump height for a bit, and you can even teleport directly back to your home ship, all just with the use of these brand new powers. You can also use the mod Expanded Power menu by FS Novask. If you don't want to have to use the selection axe to choose your power, you can instead select from the normal power menu and favorite them just like any of the vanilla Starborn powers. It's also important to note that for More Power to You to actually work, and for you to unlock these new skills, you will need to have at least acquired the first Starborn power from the main quest. Thankfully, this mod is available from Nexus mods and Creation, so it can be played on both PC and Xbox. For a game that has so much shooting and gunplay, you'd expect Starfield to have a vast range of weapons available to you. But in fact, there are actually less than 50 different guns for you to choose from, so today we're just going to be adding a couple more to have a bit more variety. The first one we'll be checking out is COD Ghosts Ripper by 510 Deshawn. This mod will introduce the Ripper from Call of Duty Ghosts and add it into Starfield leveled lists. This is a super cool looking rifle that has a pretty unique sci-fi style to it. You can purchase it from Bell Roland in Aquila City and even modify it with loads of unique weapon upgrades. This rifle even comes with 9 custom skins ranging from cyberpunk and futuristic to tactical and battle worn. I really like all the Call of Duty stuff being added to Starfield. Even though I haven't played too much COD myself, I actually think it really suits the genre, especially all the futuristic stuff. And I think we can all agree that Starfield could always use a few more weapons, which is why we're also going to be checking out the mod Allied Assault Rifle or AA-15 by AMROUR. This mod will add a custom new rifle to your game, which takes its inspiration from a Beretta ARX, but now with some futuristic tweaks like the digital round counter and this LED panel it has on the side. This rifle will now become available to you to purchase at most weapon vendors across the Milky Way, and it will come with some pretty good stats, but thankfully nothing too crazy, so it's not super OP and you can use it in just a normal playthrough. However, you can improve the rifle just like any of the vanilla guns and upgrade it at a weapons workbench, where you can add a huge variety of different weapon mods to make it unique to you. And taking it further, you can also customize the look of your weapon by changing its skin, where you now have the choice between black, white and green. The animations all fit really well with this gun, and overall I think this mod is an awesome addition to Starfield. The mod author said that they were also inspired by the ARX from Call of Duty Ghosts, so it works really well with the Ripper mod, but I know how some of you guys feel about mods adding stuff from other franchises, which is why the next mod we're going to be looking at today is Destiny 2 Star Wars from Bonepunk. Yeah, I don't care if it's not original, because this mod will add 3 new spacesuits and helmets from the Destiny 2 and Star Wars collaboration that came out not too long ago. You'll now be able to choose from the Royal Protector armor, which is like a Praetorian Guard design, the Covert Ranger and the Shock Enforcer armor, which is basically a standard Stormtrooper outfit, and all 3 come with a different skin that you can apply at a spacesuit workbench, so you can have a nice bit of variety too. You can also pair them with other helmets and different skins to mix and match them, which can really make some very unique designs. I think these spacesuits fit very well in Starfield, and amazingly you can grab this mod, the Ripper and the AA-15 from Creations and Nexus mods, so all 3 of them can be played on PC and Xbox. It's no secret that Starfield has had a bit of a problem with loading screens, but the game doesn't really help itself, as it does do some really silly things at times. For example, when fast traveling to Sidonia, instead of being sent directly to the central hub, which is where you're most likely trying to go, it spawns you outside in the elements behind yet another airlock and of course yet another loading screen. Wouldn't it make way more sense just to cut out that extra loading screen and just place you inside the first time? But no longer will this have to be a problem with the mod City Interior Map Markers by XTC Refugee. This mod will add add brand new map markers to some of the large settlements of Starfield, meaning you can now directly fast travel to the interiors of Sidonia, New Homestead, the Red Mile, and even the Well in New Atlantis. In vanilla, all of these locations will force you to fast travel to their exteriors, but you can now travel directly inside these 4 locations instead, but you'll first need to discover them for them to be eligible for fast travel, but you will now save yourself so much wasted time. You can also download a separate file that will let you fast travel directly inside the lodge, but it may cause some issues with the quests that trigger when you first enter the lodge, so the mod author has made it an optional file. I think this mod is pretty good, and you'll no longer be able to accidentally kill yourself by fast traveling to Sidonia without a spacesuit equipped. But speaking about accidental death, if you've ever used a weapon that uses Annihilator rounds, then you will of course know the dangers of downing your own companions and picking up bounties for accidental misfire, which is a real shame because most of those weapons are usually pretty cool, but the risk of killing friendlies is just way too high. However, with the mod Safe Annihilation by Phoenix, you no longer have to worry about mistakenly murdering any of your friends or civilians. The vanilla Annihilator rounds work by performing an AoE attack that will expel a disease effect to anything unfortunate enough to be nearby. This will also trigger when you do a critical hit kill with a particle weapon, even without the Annihilator rounds being used. But with this mod, Annihilator rounds will still cause the disease effect, however they will now perform damage over time and just to a single target. This will finally prevent any unwanted friendly fire, depending on your aim I suppose. And if you'd like to try either city interior map markers or Safe Annihilation in your game, you can get both from the Nexus page or on Creations, so you can play both on PC or Xbox. When it comes to the default player homes in Starfield, they're all fairly basic and boring, and none of them really take advantage of some of the cooler assets that are already in the game, and most are just basic apartments in the city with no real thought put into it. But that's why we have the mod Starborn Playerhome at Moonhenge by Mesmercat. This mod will introduce a new player home on Earth's moon, making full use of the awesome textures and assets from all the different Starborn temples. This player home can be located beneath a large mystical rock monument, which looks pretty badass for a player home. Inside you can find a unique layout with a large entertainment room that is overlooked by a beautiful upper level, a master bedroom with a stylish ensuite, and a kitchen that comes with its own cooking facilities. The property does come mostly unfurnished. You have the ability to decorate the home's interior however you'd like, and even add some personal details to the outside of the building. The lower level is a large circular chamber, which may have once been some kind of Starborn council chamber, but it could be a nice place to set up some storage and mannequins for display. You'll also have access to a small cave on the property where you can find a small living space. This leads to a small staging area and a secret concealed second entrance to the whole complex. I think this mod is awesome, and I like that they were able to make something really cool using the assets that were already in the game. But while we're already here on Luna, I also want to check out the mod Tranquility Based Museum by Bernie. This mod will add a brand new museum on Earth's moon, celebrating and preserving one of humanity's first major achievements, Into the Stars. The museum was originally opened in 2119 on the 150th anniversary of the moon landing to protect the site and educate anyone looking to find out more information about the site's history, but has since been abandoned and is unlikely to be receiving any visitors these days, as the whole place appears to be pretty deserted. You might be able to catch a few glimpses into the past through some of the data slates left lying around, and some of the environmental storytelling feels like maybe this mod originally had some much bigger plans. For some reason, this mod doesn't actually replace the vanilla Apollo landing site, but that could just mean that there might be some debate amongst the citizens about which one is actually the real site. Starfield is set 361 years after the Apollo 11 crew first touched down on the Big Cheese, so it is believable to think that in that time we might have actually done something to protect this historical location. Overall, I think this is a very cool POI and an interesting idea. I would love to see some sort of quests surrounding the museum, maybe about reopening it and just some more additional backstory. But unfortunately, Tranquility Based Museum is only available on PC. However, you can get the Starborn Playerhome we looked at first on Creations, so that one can be played on both PC and Xbox. Just as a quick bonus mod, I also wanted to shout out X2357 and their mod Content Creator Appreciation Hat Skins. And not just because I now have my very own hat in the game, but because this mod will add 21 unique skins for the Chunks baseball cap, featuring a variety of different Starfield content creators as the new logo and 7 new Ryujin ones for good measure. You can now show off your favourite Starfield YouTuber in game, but to get the design that you want for your hat, you can choose from the new selection at a spacesuit workbench. A pretty funny detail is that it will cost you 1 toxin to to change the skin, but I can't for the life of me seem to figure out why. X2357 said they created this mod to say thank you to all the content creators which they appreciate amongst the community, and I would definitely like to second that as well, but I'd also like to take the chance to say thank you to all the super talented modders out there who work harder than anybody to build on the games that we all love and keep them and their communities alive. And thank you to X2357 for including me in your list. I'm very flattered and I'm very grateful as well. Keep on making the great mods, mate, but if you want to wear your favourite Starfield YouTuber on your head, you can find this mod on the Nexus page and on Creations. And that is our list of some of the latest and greatest Starfield mods available. I hope you guys found some mods that you would like to check out for yourself, no matter what console you're playing on. And if you enjoyed the video, then please remember to leave a like. And if you want to see more Starfield mods, don't forget to subscribe and maybe become a member if you can. But that'll be it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
You won't regret it. Come on, dance! Go crazy!
Get some Aurora and let loose! Yeah?